Overseas now to Beirut, where anger is boiling over nearly a week after that devastating and deadly explosion.
The ammonium nitrate, customs officials say, was negligently stored here, despite their repeated complaints, may have been the spark for a wider movement.
Protesters took to the streets throughout the weekend, and now at least 3 key government officials have resigned.
Their demand is clear: revolution. This weekend, thousands of protesters called for a new government in Lebanon and clashed with security forces sent in to disperse them. The demonstrators briefly occupied government buildings until they were pushed out.
Yeah. After discovering that government officials repeatedly ignored warnings about the chemicals that caused that massive explosion, the people of Lebanon have taken to the streets. And believe it or not, this explosion is just the tip of the iceberg. Because for years now, the people of Lebanon have been complaining about rampant corruption in all levels of government and how bigger countries are using them as a political pawn. And you know things are bad when the people are saying, look, it's not just about the explosion that blew up half the city.
West's legal team is fighting to be included in the November presidential election. Well, here's the problem, though. The Wisconsin election campaign alleges the nomination paperwork was filed 14 seconds late. West's response was that 15 seconds after 5 on the deadline night is not later than 5. They argue the deadline includes any time before 5:01.
Surprise, surprise. The guy who made late registration couldn't get his paperwork in on time. Thank you guys, thank you. Although, if I'm being perfectly honest, this is a tough philosophical question. I mean, think about it. If there's a 5 o'clock deadline to hand in your signatures, are you late if you hand them in at 5 o'clock and 14 seconds? Like, is it 5 o'clock until 5:01? Or is it 5:01 immediately when 5 o'clock hits and you only call it 5:01 when the 1 is complete? I mean, this is the kind of question I don't know the answer to. What I do know is there's one person I don't want to debate the meaning of time with, and that's Kanye West. Time was invented by the devil to destroy God, but it's also a part of God. Huh? Now, this is a story all about how one young man's life got flipped, turned upside down. And I'd like to take a minute. Just sit right there. I'll tell you about how this man became the prince of a town called Bel-Air. Now, if you're saying, hey, Trevor, come on, that's a sitcom. No, it's deadly serious.
And the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is getting a dramatic makeover.
You're going to Bel-Air to live with your uncle and your auntie.
According to The Hollywood Reporter, Will Smith is teaming up with Morgan Cooper to create a new show based on Cooper's viral YouTube trailer he created last year that reimagines the beloved 1990s comedy as a modern-day drama. Smith is on board to produce, and Cooper will co-write and direct the reboot.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know how to feel about this because yes, the trailer looks amazing, but that's just the trailer. I'm worried there's a lot of other moments from the original show that might not work in a drama. I don't care what you say. There is no way to make Carlton's dancing dramatic. And I know this because we've tried. You see? Plus, I would argue that the original Fresh Prince already had a lot of drama. I mean, Carlton had a pregnancy scare, Jeffrey almost got deported, and overnight, they switched dark-skinned Aunt Viv for light-skinned Aunt Viv. That shit was traumatic as hell.
President Trump upped the ante in his battle against mail-in voting today. He appeared to say the quiet part out loud, telling Fox News why he opposes a funding boost for the U.S. Postal Service.
They want $3.5 billion for the mail-in votes, okay, universal mail-in ballots. $3.5 trillion. They want $25 billion for the post office. Now, they need that money in order to have the post office work so it can take all of these millions and millions of ballots. But if they don't get those two items, that means you can't have universal mail-in voting.
God damn. I've never seen a villain give away a plan like that without seeing James Bond tied to a chair in front of him. I mean, because people, this is insane. Trump got impeached for trying to secretly rig the election, and his response is to go, I learned my lesson. I won't rig an election in secret ever again.